Congress just introduced a bill that will force you to choose. Give up your second passport or your U.S. citizenship. No warning and no grace period for those that aren't aware, just a choice. Meanwhile, while this bill sits in Congress, Ghana has offered citizenship to hundreds in the Black diaspora. One door is closing, another one is opening, and hardly anyone is talking about either one. Let's start by explaining exactly what this is because there's been some misinformation around it. It's called the Exclusive Citizenship Act. Okay, and let me read this. If you hold dual citizenship, this bill would require you to formally renounce your foreign nationality within a set window, or you lose your U.S. citizenship automatically. This isn't a law yet. It's introduced. It's in committee and has a long way to go before it can ever take effect. But here's why I'm not waiting to talk about it. Bills like this get quietly introduced. They get folded into other legislation or fast tracked when the political mood shifts. If you have any interest in a second passport, whether you already have one or you're thinking about it, the time to understand this is now, not after it moves. Let me read something a viewer left in the comments on one of my latest videos. 35 likes and 9 replies, so this struck a nerve. At CEP8355 reads, I am a Black man born into Jim Crow, Louisiana, and I am telling you our people have paid the price to be here and I'm not leaving. Now, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I respect this stance, okay? This represents years of blood, sweat, and labor. So this is nothing to roll our eyes at. But here's what I keep coming back to. Paying the price to be here doesn't mean the price stops. It just changes. It's not where can we are allowed to sit. It's what is the cost daily to stay alive in this hostile environment. Here are the numbers that are left out of that comment that I think are extremely important. 75% of Black Americans report experiencing racism daily, not weekly, not monthly, not yearly, daily. The racism doesn't stay in our head, it goes into our bloodstream because Black Americans are 5 times more likely to suffer from hypertension than their white American counterparts with access to the same medicine, the same doctors, the same medical system. That's the price, not the price that was paid in 1950, the one that's being paid right now in real time in your own body just to keep showing up. So when I hear I'm not leaving, I'm not listening to someone who's wrong. I hear someone who's still paying. And that's exactly why this next part matters. Now, here's the other side of it. While Washington is closing one door, another one's been wide open. And I've walked through it myself. This is Ghana. This is the Black Star. And this is me standing right underneath it because this isn't a story I read about. I've been here twice. As a side note, I wanted to give you my own experience with Ghana because Ghana is not one of the countries that I promote heavily on Next Chapter Forward because of my personal experiences there, okay? So Ghana had this year of return where they brought back Black people from the diaspora back to Ghana and offered them citizenship, okay? It was a great policy program, and in this video, we talk about it. Here's the thing that I kind of am a little lukewarm on Ghana about. If you come over to Ghana and look like you have money, then they treat you great. But if you come dressed like I am, a guy who has money but doesn't show it off, okay, you get mixed feelings because here's the problem and mistake I made going to Ghana. I went thinking I was going back home. I went looking for people to welcome me with open arms, and that's just not what happened. They don't see us like them. They don't see us the same as them. They call Black Americans Obroni. That's foreigner. So we're the same as white foreigners to them in their minds. They'll roll out the red carpet. They'll roll out the kente cloth. They'll let you go to the slave castles. They'll do all that because they want your money. But in terms of a warm, welcoming feel from Ghanaian people, in general, it was okay. It was pretty good. But I had specific instances where I had deep conversations with Ghanaian people, and it pissed me off because again, they look at us the same way as they would look at a white European. So is there a connection there? Are we from Africa, or is our tribe from anywhere on that continent? Because if they were, I would think they would view us a little bit differently. I might be wrong in that, but I wanted to give this piece of my experience in Ghana. On March 9th of this year, Ghana swore in 150 new citizens from our community. That brings the total to over 1,000 in the last few years who've gone through this process. And there's the twist that actually matters. Ghana just paused the program, not to shut it down, to rework it, to make it more accessible, doors opening and closing at the exact same time on both sides of the Atlantic. Ghana isn't the only one. Benin passed a law specifically for descendants of enslaved people, offering a path to nationality, not as a symbolic gesture, but as a real legal process. And the name attached to that you'll recognize is Grammy Award-winning singer Ciara. In July of last year, she became one of the first people in the world granted status under that law at a ceremony in Cotonou. One thing I want to be clear about here, Benin grants nationality by recognition, not full citizenship with voting rights, unless you go on to naturalize separately. It's still a real meaningful legal status. Just know the difference before you go looking into it yourself. And this is what it actually feels like once you're there. Not a ceremony, not a headline, just super warm, loving people. So here's where all three of these threads meet. Congress wants to make it harder to hold two passports. Ghana and Benin are actively handing them out to us. And the people making that second move aren't waiting around to see how the bill turns out. If any or part of this made you think, man, I need to look into this, this is exactly what we do at Next Chapter Forward. I'm your point guard, transition architect, and I help Black men over 50 relocate to the country of their dreams. Okay. The first way you could do this is go to my bio, get your global scouting report. It's a free quiz. It's 8 questions. It only takes 2 minutes, but it gives you your score of your readiness to relocate. And that way, once we figure out your score, we can get you into some of the other products and services that Next Chapter Forward offers. Okay. Please like, share, subscribe this video. It really helps the algorithm and helps grow the channel. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. And until next time, holla, y'all.